Father Matt Williams here. Just a follow-up on the chapter that we had done yesterday, or earlier today, if I'm really honest. Chapter 37 of Book 3, A Pure and Entire Resignation of Ourselves for Obtaining Freedom of Heart. Father Peter Grover did a retreat for us on Friday here at the Pastoral Center, and in his little talk on confession, it wasn't just a little talk, it was profound. He talked about being able to name what's the one thing that we need to focus on right now, that we need Jesus to heal us of, or the one thing that we need to really address in our lives so that we can be free, so that we can live in God's will, so that we can follow Him, so that we can love Him. What's the one thing that we need the Lord to really work on in our lives? And he says that it's really a matter of substituting it. What do I mean? He told this story about this dentist, this high-powered dentist that he knows, a really great guy, and asked him about some stories. You have any kind of crazy stories about dentists? And he talked about how this dentist said he had this patient who was a smoker, a long-time smoker, and he couldn't break smoking, and the dentist was talking about it and trying to give him some counsel. And so the dentist said this to him. He says, what is it that you enjoy most? What is it that you enjoy most about smoking? And the guy says, exhaling. There's nothing like exhaling all of the smoke out of you. There's nothing like exhaling that air, and it makes me feel so peaceful and so good inside. It's the exhaling. And he says, well, why don't you try substituting it with something else? What if you inhaled air and you focused on exhaling the air of the beautiful fresh air, and see if that brings you the same satisfaction? And the guy quit smoking. He had been smoking for years and years and years, and by substituting the smoke, the exhalation of the smoke with exhalation of good air, that craving, or that whatever he was addicted to there, whatever he enjoyed, was satisfied by something else. So Father Grover said so brilliantly, he's like, when you focus on that thing, what is it that you want about that thing? And he's like, don't try to just rid that out, but replace it with something. In other words, replacing it with Jesus, replacing it with grace. What is it that we are really looking for in our lives that that needs to be replaced? To replace this thing, this sin, this upset, whatever it is, having it replaced by something that God wants to give us. He's like, and then we can begin to let go of it. Another person said that, when we want to hug Jesus or embrace Jesus, sometimes it's hard to embrace Him if we're holding sin in both hands, right? If we're holding on to our stuff. But sometimes, Jesus is like, okay, you know what? Can you just give me one hand? Can you hold one hand and maybe put that other stuff in the other hand and just embrace me with one hand? And it's not that Jesus wants us to hold on to our sin, our stuff, but Jesus is willing to meet us halfway. Let us embrace Him with one hand, holding the other stuff, but eventually by His grace, we're going to let go of the other stuff and be able to fully hug Him and cling to Him. In both cases, the Lord meets us where we're at, and we want to replace this stuff with love. We want to replace it with something that is good for us. So instead of focusing on giving up something that we really are attached to, let's replace it with something that's really good and beautiful and true for us. Jesus. Have a blessed holy day, a blessed Palm Sunday as we enter the week we call holy in the church's calendar year. God bless you.